Hey there, folks. It is, what is it? Monday, the 15th of September, 2025. This is my show and tell. Today, I'm going to be talking about a couple of things all at once. And this is going to start off with talking about Ollama again. I've done a video about Ollama in the past, but there are other options, or there are other things you can do with Ollama that I thought I did not cover the last time, but I'll cover this time. So if you go up here to your manager, and I hope you do install the manager, and just in case you don't know about that, if you go to your Google Chrome and you type in ComfyUI manager install or whatever, you'll get something like this. And then you can go down to the GitHub. I assume that's it. And you scroll all the way down to this batch file right here. You put that batch file in your ComfyUI dealio, and it will install it. But also, if you install the Electron version, so if you go, we'll go back here again in ComfyUI. We go to ComfyUI, and you have the download there, and you have download for Windows, Mac, or install from GitHub. If you use the Windows installer, that installs what's called the Electron version, and the Electron version, I believe, comes with the manager. Okay? Go custom nodes, and then type in Ollama. Ollama. Oh my God. Oh, there we go. This first one right here by Sapir. I'm butchering that. I apologize. I'm so bad at names. Last month it was updated, and this is it. 2.0.7. I'm sorry, 2.0.7. Install that. It's got 8 nodes. It's all you need to get started. Now, here's the thing. I have a second computer in my office here, and that computer was my gaming computer before the one I'm on right now. It has a 3060 Ti. It has 32 gigabytes of DDR4 memory. It's got an NVMe hard drive of some kind. I don't even know. I think it's a terabyte. Maybe it's like, I don't even know what it was. Could be a Western Digital. I'm not even sure what it was. But it was okay. It's now my observatory computer. When I go out to the desert to my observatory, I actually physically take that computer with me. It controls all my telescope stuff. And then when I'm done for the weekend, I bring it back with all of my astro images and everything on the hard drive. I process them. And then the next month when I go back out again, I take the computer back out. It just throw it in the car, drive it out. I have monitors, keyboards, everything there already. It's just the box I bring home. 3060 Ti has 8 gigabytes of VRAM, and that's fine for running Ollama. So I just throw Ollama on there. It's also fine for running lower level LLMs that don't take up a lot of memory. Even ComfyUI, I use Illustrious with it, and it's perfectly reasonably fine. I don't do Flex on it. It just takes too long, and it's frustrating. That's why I have this computer here. I have an i7 14700K, 64 gigs of DDR5, and I have a 3090 24 gigs of VRAM. And yeah, everything else is just, doesn't matter. Okay. So anyways, Ollama. I'm going to type Ollama into the thing, and there's a whole bunch of stuff here, okay? We need the connectivity. That's how we connect to it. And I'm going to put you see it says make sure Ollama server is running, okay? And that is because in my house, I have firewalls, routers. I don't know what the problem is. I'm not a network specialist here. I don't know, but I never can get this to work. Like just this, or localhost. I can't ever get those to work. I have in the past, but I think firewall issues, maybe my router. So instead I have to just put in the IP address of my second computer, which is 192.168.193. And that should now let it find it. Now I went to Ollama. Once again, I'm going to go to Google Ollama. And if you go here to models, and you could search for models, and I put, for myself, because this is local, right? We don't want censorship on our models, which ChatGPT will censor, Grok will censor, Gemini will censor, Claude will censor, the others. So by doing this, I I just went through here. The one I picked was this one. And if you click on this, it gives you some sizes. I grabbed this one right here, which is 5. So on my 8 gigabyte VRAM card, it's perfectly reasonable. This is not a not safe for work image, but you'll see in here that it talks about how it can say things and do things that are, let's say, not safe for work, right? And so that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be uncensored so that when I put in some kind of adult content prompt, it's not going to say, oh, that's against our community guidelines, because this is local and I don't, screw you, right? So anyways, once you have Ollama started, so let's say you go back to Ollama, download, install it, open up a command prompt, CMD. So now you have your command prompt, right? Oops. You have your command prompt. I'm going to move that off the way for a second. Go to models, do your search, go down. Well, I mean, you can pick whatever one of these you want. I mean, just whatever. Everybody has their own tastes and opinions and whatever, but read them, maybe do some research, Google it, whatever. I picked this one, as I said. Click up here where it says Ollama run and then the name of the thing. Just click the little copy thing, then go back here and paste it in and hit enter, and it will install it automatically. Okay, it'll download it, get your Ollama going with it. If you are doing it locally, you need to have a small model. So I have 24 gigs of VRAM. Doing Flux, it uses all of it because I use the biggest version of Flux. Like, I use the full thing. Okay, it's not the FP8, it's not the distilled or trimmed or whatever the hell it is. It's the full Monty, right? So because of that, I do need all of my memory. And so that's why I put Ollama on a different computer. However, if you are doing it locally, you have Ollama on the same computer, you need to account for that in the memory. So you need to add the memory that you're going to need for your LLM and your diffusion model, whatever that might be. So for example, here I have this one here, 2.5 gigs. Here's one for 1.1 gigs. So you might do that and then just pick a model that is, like let's say you have, gosh, I hate to even say this, but what if you had an 8 gigabyte NVIDIA video card, right? I would not go any more than that 1.1 gig. Like, that to me is minimum or maximum. I'm sorry, maximum. Then I would stick with the stable diffusion type of models. I would stick with SDXL, Pony, Illustrious, or any other ones that's super small. Well, which ones are those? We're getting off on a tangent here, folks. I apologize. First of all, let me make sure that I turn all of these things off and blur adult content. That way I don't have any issues here with my video. So like even that says not safe for work. So we're going to go over here and I'm going to, gosh, I don't even know. Here's Korea. Here's Flux. This is the Schnell version. SDXL. Illustrious. Where's Pony? I don't use Pony myself, so I can't even say it. See, what else is there? Hydream. Hydream's going to be crazy high. Auraflow. Okay, let's just, wait, Quinn. Yeah, Noob AI, Pixar, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so what I would do personally is I would go through here and I would look for an outcome that you actually appreciate. Like here's Juggernaut from XL. So yeah, here, like, is this okay as far as quality goes? This is another XL model. You see, these are all XLs. XL. There's a Pony model. Like how perfect do you need it to be? Right? Here's an XL model. Epic realism. So you can get good results with small models, but you have to pick the checkpoint then that is of the style and quality that you want. If you're into anime, you need to pick an anime checkpoint model. If you're into illustrations, do an illustration one. If you're into Asian girls, do Asian, right? You kind of have to pick it because they're going to be focused on that that person. Like, let's say you wanted something that looked like this. I would pick this model because you already kind of have it built in. Cyber Realistic XL from the XL thing. And as I said, here's another XL model. So XL can do it. You just have to use certain LoRa's, like to make sure the hands are good, the feet are good, you know, the different things that are normally deformed. You got to use LoRa's to help it. This is one I typically a lot of times use is the Illustrious, and then Cyber Illustrious, Cyber Realistic. I'll use that one sometimes. But that's exactly what I did. I kind of went through and I picked like art styles that I would conceivably potentially use, and I grabbed a lower quality one in order to offset the lack. On my other computer, by the way, not this one. Like this one right here, if I'm doing Androids or whatever, like this looks perfectly reasonable. Like that doesn't, right? Like that's not what I'm into. Like you get into all this weird stuff and it's like, no. But like if I'm doing like something like that, I might consider this model knowing that it can do it. So anyways, that's what I'm saying is you can just be picky, take the models that are going to output something of the quality that you are interested in. And then like here's a pony doing, I think, what's her name again? Was it Nears Ollama? Is she 1B or 2B? 2B? She's something 2B. I forgot, or something like that. God, I'm gonna have to unlock it. Near. Okay. Okay, so who is she? Yeah, 2B. But does she have another name? Or is it just 2B? Just 2B. Okay. Near, not Nears. Okay, see, I that drink of coffee, guys, it almost put me back on track. Anyways, that's supposed to be her. So anyways, yeah, if you're doing stuff, you know, like, oh, I need a picture of a redheaded girl, this is perfectly reasonably fine. This is a small model. You could combine Ollama with that. All right, now let's get off of Ollama for a minute and let's get back to here. All right, so this one here is options. I find that this is kind of necessary. Generate. So connection goes to connectivity. Options, of course, goes to options. I don't think we need anything else, honestly. I think that's it. This bottom one is where you put your prompt. Up here is where you tell it what to do. So now let's take this. I'm gonna go down here to templates. And for today, I'm gonna be using, I'm gonna go Flux. And I'll just use the standard FP8. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna pick the one that I actually have. And I'm gonna change out save for a preview. That way it doesn't fill up my hard drive. And if we leave this alone, we hit go ahead and run. It's gonna take a bit. I'm gonna pause the video while it's running. Be back in a minute. Okay. And this right here, this is the basic prompt that comes with Flux that shows you what it can do. Yeah, I don't know why they chose an animation or an illustration like this, but that's the default, cute anime girl with, these people are weird, but I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and add on our Ollama stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and Control G, and I'm gonna name this group Ollama. And this is right now pretty much what I think we should do. Okay, so you come in here. You says you are. I'm gonna type this in as we go here. Okay, you are a master text to image. Okay, now we can just, test that, right? Now we need a prompt. So we have, this is the prompt. Oh, I forgot something I want to put in there. Create variety by randomizing some elements in the image without changing the focal subject. Too much. Have fun with it. Okay? Something like that. All right. Now we need a text box or a prompt box or something. We can do prompt. I have this one here from Easy Use. It's interesting. Like, you could pick some things here. So like you could say a prefix, a detailed photo of, and it puts it up there. See? And then you could do subject, a monster, detailed photo subject of a monster. See, it just kind of fills it in. Looking at the viewer. Bucket hat. Evening glow in the deserts. Starry sky over the deserts. No, no non-safe for work stuff right now. Okay. So with that, I could just take this and I can plug it in down here. Let's leave that for right now. And then we'll put, coming out of here, we'll put two prompts. I want to do a show text so we could see what it says. But also we could take this and we could plug it in to the prompt box. Let's plug it into the corner there. And so this will go down to here. So if we do just one, and we'll come over here and see what it came up with. It has to load the model, so it does take, like the first time, it does take a little bit of effort. There we go. So it took this thing that we made here, and it did that, which is correct. You notice that it didn't do any special characters. It didn't talk to us. It just made a prompt. Exactly what we asked it to do. Okay, and there's our monster with a bucket hat in the desert, starlight. Exactly what we asked for. Let's pretend this is a save node, right? So it's saved into the hard drive. You do, let's say, 4 of these. Because every single time, I keep hitting the mic, I apologize. Every single time it goes around in the circle, it changes the prompt. So you're gonna get something completely random each time. So let's go ahead and hit run. See that? Every single time it's going to be completely different. I'm recording, so it's a little slower than it normally is. I'm using the same computer. That's still not bad though, 1.6. It's all right. Usually I'm down to 1.4s, 1.35. That's like a parasailer, paraglider over there in this little red thing. I don't know what it was supposed to be, but it's kind of interesting. Okay, that's it. That's our run. All right, so you got to see how it changes after each cycle through. And that's just, we just use this to just make a stupid prompt. You could have just typed whatever you wanted into it, and it would have added variety. Okay? Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to break this up a little bit, and we're going to talk about my own nodes. Okay, we got our Kraken Lore loader. Kraken, let's see here. My prompt, I think I already did that one. Yeah, we did. Oh, latent. Oh, there it is, right there. Okay. I'm just looking through everything. Dual clip loader. No, checkpoint loader, yeah. And the empty latent, which I keep. There we go. That should get us started. Okay. So here's their prompt. We can bring that up there for right now. Stretch this out so we can see what's up. So this is persistence. This is where you put things like, I would put Kraken tattoo. Is that how you spell tattoo? My brain won't work. Dang it. Kraken tattoo. Blue eyes. Red hair. And then no matter what I put in here, whatever it is will have this. So if I put goth girl on city street with a gun. Okay? You hook up whatever you want to this, but it's all combined internally. So we're all good. Also, you have the things down here like style. Like we can do photorealistic. Lighting, we can choose dramatic lighting, let's say. Camera lens, we can say, oh, we're going to do a tilt shift. F-stop, we can do like 2.8. Oh, let's do 1.8. I'm going to leave everything else alone. But you see, you have options that you can grab. Okay. Combine persistent, true, which means it's going to take this and combine it with this, plus all of those other things. So we take this bit here and we're going to put it into the input of this. Now, if you're using an SDXL model or Illustrious or Pony or whatever, there's a negative prompt here as well. So you have your negative prompt out, you put that into like your clip text encode. All right. So the next thing we have here, this is our checkpoint loader. This will replace this. So I can come in here and I'll just grab the same one. I'll do the FP8 so it's a little bit faster on this computer. And we have our clip out. We have our model out, but we're going to wait here a bit. But VAE we can plug in. I'm going to then take the K sampler, and you'll notice something interesting about it, which is going to replace this K sampler. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of these notes. We don't need the notes. And that is that you do not need, you can plug in the VAE here. You do not need a VAE decode coming out. It does it internally. So you don't need this. So the VAE is now going to plug in. The positive prompt that comes out of the conditioning plugs in to the positive. And we don't need a negative. It goes, oh, if there's no negative connected, I'm going to make the CFG automatically 1, but it's going to be internal. Like you're not going to see it turn to 1. It's going to be internally 1. Then we take the model. We plug the model in here. The latent image. Here we have our latent. Oh, hold on, that's latent out. We have this latent. We're going to delete that as well. And we're going to delete this as well. And we're going to delete this as well. And we're going to grab, here's, I already had a prompt. I don't need 2 prompts. This is the latent image. Now the latent image, what does it have going for us? Well, it has the latent here, so you don't have to have a go-between. Just plug it in. You're done. Here, you could choose your resolution. So in this case, I'm looking to do, I have two 1440p monitors side by side. And so I would like to make a wallpaper that spans across both of them. So this one here is 5120 by 1440. I do need to add one, by the way. I realize I keep forgetting. I need to add one for a 1440, a 4K monitor side by side as well. And the way to do that, it's really simple. I can do it right now if I thought about it. But what we'll do is we're going to go to, why is my computer being so slow today? Because I'm recording. Documents, Comfy, because only on mine, because it's Electron version. If you have the GitHub version, it's going to be wherever you installed it. Custom nodes, Kraken tools, and then we're going to find the latent. See all these different ones I've been working on. Okay, so right there, and we're going to open it in Notepad++, and you can see the list. So we could take, for example, this one here, and we'll just copy it, and we just paste it in. So now there's two of them, and then we'll do this. I'm so bad at the math in my head right now, I can't think. I'll just ask Gemini really quick. Two 4K monitors, which are, I'm trying to think here, 3840 by 2160. So 3840 is width. So, well, I guess you can just do calculator. My brain is just not awake yet. I should not be making this video. 3840 times 2 is 7680 times, and then 2160. Okay. So there you go. So we come in here and we go, this first one is going to be 7680, and the next one is going to be 2160. And then I'm going to put in here 4K, and up here I'm going to put 2K, just so I can remember. Let me see, do I have desktop wallpaper? Yeah, right there, 2560. Okay. $2K single, 2K double, like that. Save it, close it, and then if you rebooted, you would have it as an option. Okay. Restarted the ComfyUI, not rebooted, but restarted ComfyUI. All right. And I might as well have added those in. So that's all we needed. So we grab those, and everything else, leave everything alone. Here's some things what it does. Batch size, of course, if you want to do more than one. Enable preview. Sure. And then max preview size. Also has a megapixel that you can choose from here. You can do custom aspect ratio if you wanted to put something special in here. You can set the width and height automatically. Divisible by, you can have the, auto or choose your own divisible. And yeah, it works out pretty good. Like I said, you don't need to put a negative if you're doing flux. And then coming out with the image, not the latent, but the image. Now, why is there a latent? Because you might want to double up on these. You'll notice that this acts as a K-sampler advanced. You can put start step in steps. Add noise or not add noise. How many steps? Tile decode or not. There's lots of cool stuff here that you can do. You can turn off the decode switch and it won't decode it, and then you'll need to have a VA decoder here. That's helpful if you want to use your own VAE decode. Okay? Like if you want to have something come out and you want to do something different with it. But if not, you take that late and you plug it into another one of these. You plug it into the late and dim, and you just, chain them. Okay? All right. So with that, we should have something to go here. Now, as a Flux user, you may be aware of a node that's commonly used, which is the model sampling Flux from the Comfy core. And if you grab it, oops, sorry, I hit the wrong one. If you grab this one, you'll notice you can do the shift and base shift, and then it has a width and height input. And the reason it has those is that depending on the tile width, tile height of your image, it needs to do different calculations. So again, we have the width out here. We could plug that in there, and the height out. We could plug that in there, and now it does the calculations for us. The model, instead of going in there first, we're going to plug it in there first, and then this will go down to there. And then we can just minimize this and forget about it, because normally no one spends their time worrying about that. We'll just put it behind there and ignore it, okay? We're going to minimize this. We'll put this on top of it and just, ignore that as well. I've never really played around with this too much. I think 3, depending on which sampler and scheduler I use, I do mess with this sometimes. I had one working one time. It was really good. I had it at 3, and I was having really good luck. Over here, by the way, on the checkpoint loader, you have your weight type, and then you have if you want to compute hash or not. You also have outputs here of model name and checkpoint, and you can do that for if you have one of those custom save nodes, and you want to get the information and plug it in, or you just want it for your own reasons. I don't know. Those available. Those are available. Now you're going to ask, what's resolution or preset out? I will show you in just a moment. But first, let's do a single image. And we're going to use that basic prompt, and we're going to have it create something. And I'm going to pause the video while it's working on it. And I'm going to go until hopefully there's no not safe for work. We all make mistakes when we make videos. I plugged it into the wrong spot. So I plugged it in here. That was a mistake. I needed to plug in down here and get rid of this. It made another monster. I was like, why is it making a monster? What'd I do? Well, it's because I plugged it into the wrong spot. This is the prompt, goes into the bottom. These are the instructions for the prompt. I plugged it into the wrong spot. And it also did do that, even though I told it, don't do any special characters. It did that and that. It did, look at. Okay, so I have to do some more work here. Hold on. Do not okay. There we go. All right. AI is stupid. Terminator is not going to happen in my lifetime. It's just too stupid so far. It cannot follow instructions. Of course, that could be why Terminator happened. It's following instructions wrong. Humans are very dirty. I would like you to go and clean them. Cleanse humanity. Got it. Okay, see what we have. Here we go. Cool. Right? She's left-handed though. Don't dig that, but okay. I got no problem with that. And as you can see, it's, oh, yeah, okay, so we have to upscale it. Okay, so I have to explain that. So the next part is upscale. And I spent quite a bit of time working on this because what I wanted to do, unbelievable upscaler. Okay. So I had a couple of, my LoRa's too. Like I do LoRa's, yeah. All right, so LoRa, let's do that real quick. All right, so as you know about LoRa's, we're going to have the model go in, model come out. We're going to plug it into here. This is going to come out and go into there. Okay, so we're just going to bypass around it. Cool. All right. So as you know, if you are playing around with LoRa's, that some of them have a clip skip and some of them do not. And so with ComfyUI, you use clip set last layer, and then you set the negative, and the negative is a positive. So if you go on to Civet AI, for example, and you find a beautiful LoRa for your SDXL, and it says use clip skip 2. Well, you can't do a positive number. So it's actually you know what I mean? It's a negative number in ComfyUI, but they're asking for a positive number because all the other AI art generators like Automatic 1111 or the Forge or whatever, all these ones, they all use a positive number. So I was just like, you know what? If we're going to do this, let's do two things. One, we're going to put the clip skip inside of this. Now, I do have some work to do. You can use it as is, but I do need to add the clip skip on a per LoRa basis. So I do need to have a clip skip for the second one and the third one. I do not have that because on the rare occasion, I mean, it's very rare, but it does happen. Some LoRa's don't want any clip skip at all. Some of them want a clip skip of 1, actually. It's so strange, but it's uncommon. So because it's uncommon, I'm not going to worry about it right now, but it is something where I do need to do that. Now, let's say you want to do that. Like you're like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and grab your stuff right now. I'm not going to wait for you to fix it. I'm going to do it myself. How do you do that? Drag the thing into ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, Claude, whatever. What's that one? I can't even think of what it is. It's, I don't know. It starts with a C, I think. But take the code, drop it into an AI and say, hey, I want to put clip skip on each LoRa basis, individual basis, not just covering all of them. Can you make that change for me? Absolutely. In fact, I will demonstrate that right now. So we have here, this is Gemini. I'm going to take that same code. Do I still have that window open? I don't have it open. Documents, ComfyUI, custom nodes, Kraken tools, and we're going to go to the LoRa one, which was my LoRa's 3. Lost in the forest. I can't see it because there's too much. There it is right there. Take this. I'm going to drop it in there. I'm going to bring this over so you guys can see what I'm going to type here. You can see all the stuff I've been using over here for working on a light panel for astrophotography. It's been my project for the last weekend. Haven't been doing much on my AI stuff. That's hopefully going to change this week. I got a lot to do. Let's get back to it. Oh, here we go. And there we go. So you would just wait for it to be done, copy it, open this in Notepad or Notepad++. Remove or back it up first, right? Just in case it fails. But then paste it in, save it. Done. Done. See, it's done now. It says it's done. Copy. Notepad. First of all, follow my own advice. I'm going to get rid of this one. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? How did I fail? There it is. Copy. All right. Then I still have this one open. Control A. Delete. Copy. Come over here. Control V. Save. Done. Just that simple. All right. And then coming back, what was the other thing that I picked? Oh, I added some stuff here. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and just reboot. Here, let me save this just so that we don't lose it. Save as YouTube 15, because today is the 15th. Just gonna close it. See, I have a really bad background. I was gonna do like a fall one. The faces came out like ass. I gotta redo it. It's supposed to be a group of like Dungeons and Dragons adventurers, like a diverse group, where it's like fighter, ranger, sorcerer, thief, all that coming out of a building. They're going to be out, or maybe coming out of a haunted house, or doing something. My background wallpaper has pumpkins and all that stuff too. It's all kind of the theme. Okay, so let's see what we have. Yep, see, clip skip. Okay, clip skip. It does screw up sometimes when you reboot it, and you have to come in here and do all that. But all right, so anyways, we have this, and we have clip. It's got to go in there. And then come out of here and go into there, because it's got to apply the LoRa into the clip text encoder. I did have a version of this that just took a clip in and put out the conditioned, but it just overall it just didn't want to work right, and so I kind of abandoned it. All right, so we're going to enable the first one, and I'm just going to grab a flux one here. Okay, that one is actually, that doesn't belong in the anatomy, but it's it just adds detail. Don't need a clip skip, and we're going to leave false, false. Oh no, I'm sorry. False. Placement, prepinned, which will put the LoRa's at the top. This is incorrect. Yeah, so it's messed up. It's probably going to fail. See, it's got for API. Okay, so I'm going to have to tell it you messed up. Okay, I just told it to fix it. And then over here, we added some stuff, right? Yeah, see here, I put the 2K in, 2K single, 2K double, 4K double. And then we also have somewhere right there. Yeah, okay. And then we have the upscaler. Okay, so that's where we were. That's where we left off. Okay, so again, we have where we plug in the model. So we'll go ahead and grab this model. Gonna grab that, plug it in. The positive prompt. You have it coming out of conditioning. We can just grab this real quick, and we can just add a little reroute. We'll put one into there and one down into there. And then we have the VAE here. VAE just comes in, plugs in right there. And of course, we need an image. Where image comes out, we put the image here. We do not need a negative. It uses the same kind of technology that we have over here, down here. You don't have a negative, it just figures it out. It goes, oh, okay, you must be using Flux. We're going to make that a number 1. We'll put a preview here. And then we're going to come in here, and you'll notice that there is a TRT engine. That is TensorRT. And what happens is you pick your model that you want, and it will actually take that model and it'll compile it as a TensorRT for the first time, which is a faster, better model. And I'm going to do 15 steps. And again, leaving the CFG at 8 for the default because I don't have a negative plugged in. But you'll notice there are other things you can plug in. So that brings us back to here. Since you're picking what ultimate resolution you're after, and you saw that when this one came out, of course, it wasn't that size. Because it's not, K-Sampler is not going to want to try to choke on a super high resolution image. But the upscaler, it will. So you take your resolution and you plug it in. I'm sorry, the preset. You pick your preset, you plug your preset in. Now it knows. Oh, that's what you have in mind. You want to have this like super high res stretch across. Okay, I gotcha. We're on the same page now. It does an automatic fill crop based on what this is, but it only upscales the bare minimum needed so that when it does crop, it's cropping a couple of pixels around the outside edge. Like, you're not losing anything. We can use an image compare by RG3. And what we can do is we can plug in a before to A and an after to B. And what this will allow us to do here is not only see the outputs that come up, so we can just shrink these down a little bit, just, we don't need to have them so big. But for this one, we can make it really big, and we'll see by sliding back and forth across it what the difference is between coming out of the K sampler and coming out of the upscaler. And I'm going to be using TensorRT on. I'm going to be using ultra sharp, denoise at 0.2. The pre-blur it's actually nice to have. What it'll do is it'll blur your image slightly so that when it does goes back over each panel or each tile and it adds the detail in, it does a better job of adding detail. It works harder to make a better image. Steps 15. Yeah, we'll leave all this the same. And then you see it has minimum upscale policy. That's what I meant. So what is the minimum amount of upscale I need to actually turn on the upscale quality features as well, but also overshoot the size a slight amount so that when it crops it back to the size that has been requested, I'm not losing a bunch of stuff. I'm not center cropping a small portion of that image. Now I'm going to go back up to the prompt real quick because I'm going to put in there subject off center image, off center of image to avoid monitor bezel in the center. Okay. And then I'm just going to hit run. And this is going to take a bit because it's going to do the upscale. Oh, I missed something. Hang on. What did I not plug in? Or, I have something else going on here. Hold on. Oh, the positive prompt. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I need the positive prompt. So we have the prompt that comes here. So this. Okay. Hang on. That's got to be what it is. Hang on. So this, because it has to add the tags. Oh, did I not mention that? I should have mentioned that. It's kind of important. So this little bad boy here will go out onto the interwebs. Why does this give me a problem too? Why is it? What did I do wrong here? Latent, without hideout, resolution, preset out. This should not have a problem. Oh, sorry. Wrong button. Shift Control R restarts it. It's not telling me what's wrong. And maybe I can't put, that could be what it is. Okay, hang on. And maybe I can't put a number in there because it looks for the first number. When I added a 4 and a 2 into there, it confused it. That makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you? Okay, it did say that it fixed this, so we're going to go ahead and... Nope, it's still messed up. Here, let me let's run it without it real quick, see if it works. Yeah, that seems to work just fine. So that's what the problem was with this. Okay. So ComfyUI, custom nodes, Kraken tools. We're going to go to PyCatch, and I'm just going to delete everything. Yeah, okay, that's working again. All right, clip skip. We have clip skips for everything. Okay, great. So we're now going to do this again. Sorry, folks. We're going to put that into there. Actually, hold on. It goes model, here, here to there to there. Okay. Clip goes there to there to there. Prompt from here to there. And the positive prompt is going to come from up here. I'm going to put a little add reroute so I can see. And it's going to go into there. And if we want, we can come out of here and we can just put a little show text so we can see what the ultimate prompt looks like. Okay. I'm going to come in here to the first one. I'm going to go back. Again, I have to remove this out of anatomy. It doesn't go there. Clip skip, we're going to use 0. Model strength, okay, all that. Lower file, none. These are turned off. This one's enabled. Off. Off. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. So as I was saying, it will fetch the trigger words automatically and then put them into the prompt. You don't need an API key, but I have one. You'll do it without. It doesn't cost anything to get an API key from whatever. Now, if you zoom in on this text here, you can see that's, oops, this is the trigger. Oh my God, come on. This is the trigger word for this one. And it put a comma. We have it prepinned, which means it puts it at the beginning. Now, I'm going to look here. Here's Kraken tattoo, because remember I put that in to the thing. What else did I put? Oh, blue eyes. Blue eyes. What else did I put? Red hair. Blue eyes, red hair. So there we go. Red hair, blue eyes, Kraken tattoo. So here's what it looks like. It did not do the off center. Like, she really needs to be off centered. Okay, I'm going to put it in here. Now it's on to the upscaler. It's going to take a bit of time. It operates pretty much the same. It's like an updated version of Ultimate SD Upscaler. It behaves almost identically, except it has some code in there to operate with TensorRT, PyTorch, AMP, other things that really just kind of grease the gears a little bit and make it a little bit faster. I do have, if you are in favor of just using an Ultimate SD Upscale, which I love. I love this. This is one of my favorite things. I use it all the time. I also made, before I made it all into one, Upscale and Tile Calculator and Resolution Helper. These two nodes, actually, it's like these three nodes together are this. And then on top of that, adding tensor, amp, all the PyTorch, just making it faster, better, stronger, and also removing the requirement of having a negative input. So it's basically these three things. Image comes down, resolution and preset in, still compatible with this, resolution preset out. You plug those down here. You have them also jumping across to here. Target resolution in, preset in. It now knows what you were asking about. Preview out, and then you'd plug all of this stuff in. Image out goes here. Model you still need to load, so you'd add a load model. Oh, upscale model, sorry. Upscale model loader, like that one. So we do like an ultra sharp, right? Upscale by goes here. Tile width down there. Tile height. Again, all of this math and everything is all done now internal to the single node. So you don't need to have these three nodes, but it still works as if it still works the same. So it gets the image, we'll just do like a load image. Pretend that it's coming from up there. You have your image, the image goes in there, and then it runs through all of this stuff. It gets the preset. As I mentioned, it gets it from here. Resolution out, preset out, right? It's going to go resolution in, preset in. And so it does all the math and does the same thing I just mentioned with this upscaler. It goes, what's the minimum amount that I can upscale so that I overshoot a slight, just a smidgen, just a hair more than needed, so that when the crop comes in over here, it's going to crop the minimum amount off the edges to arrive at the perfect dimension, resolution dimension, everything, pixel dimension of the image that was requested by the user. Feeds it into here. Because this is not automatic, you do need a negative. So the model, of course, would come down, right? You would have, here's the model for this. So we would just, I'm just going to show you. So that would go there. And then you'd have the positive. And again, I'm just going to show you. This would come down. And then you'd maybe do a 0 out, condition 0 out from Comfy Core. Come off of here as well. Make that a 0. Put it into the negative. And then, of course, the VAE as well. And I'll just create a reroute real quick. And then we'll just drop this down and plug it into there. Now all of these are plugged in. You still have to you manually set that to 1 now because it doesn't do it automatically. And like if you wanted to make like for like, I would change that to 15 because that's what I'm using here. And that's it. Leave everything else. Minimum upscale policy is auto. Carried over into here. Minimal upscale policy is auto. Again, all I did was I took like these things right here. And if I were to create a subgraph, there you go. It's this. Okay. It's basically what it is. Well, this too. Sorry, this too. And then, like I said, attempt to speed up. So all of that, all of this, plus some optimizations, some things for the RTX graphics cards that have the capability of running them. Now, is it super fast? Are we talking about like twice as fast? No, I would say 15 to 20% faster. It ultimately, what I do personally when I'm upscaling, I just leave the room. I go do other things, Or I get on my other computer that I mentioned earlier and I'll browse on the internet on that computer, leaving this one alone to just do art, just do upscales. Because it's not a 5090 or a pair of 5090s or 4 5090s that some of you guys out there do. It's just a 3090. It's old and tired. It's been used for probably mining before I bought it. Who knows? And yeah, it's the little engine that could right now, but it's working. And yeah. Yeah, so, you know, the image coming out of here is actually what we wanted, not this. You know what I mean? This would go in here. And so the image coming out of here should be the equivalent of the image coming out of here. There shouldn't be any difference between these two things as far as quality goes. Like, this does not make it higher quality. It's still the same quality as Ultimate SD Upscale and Ultra Sharp and Ultra Sharp. It just does it a little bit faster, and it's all in one node. That's all there is to it. Okay, so in this situation, what I would do is I would just, you know, set a bunch of these up, however many you were going to do. And you're not going to blow out your memory because you're not going to do a multiple batch of them. So if you go back here to the empty latent, you're going to keep the batch size at 1. So it's just going to do a repetitive process. When this thing spits out down here on the bottom, it would go back through, get a new prompt, you know, mix it up a little bit, send it back through, upscale, punch it out, go back up, however many times you put in here. If you got the hard drive space and you can pay for the electric bill, let your computer run, get ready to go off to dreamland, hit run, go to sleep. Now, there was something I did the other night. As soon as this is done, I'll show you. And that was I used a system of switches within ComfyUI to either enable or disable the image picker. For those of you that don't know what it does, the image picker by Lieb's Picker, there it is, done. So if we go down here, this is the whatever. Go down here. We slide this across. It's not going to do these are supposed to be, you know, out of focus, right? Because remember the options that we did here. Tilt, shift, lens, f1.8, all that. You know, we added some stuff in here. So it's supposed to be not sharp in the background. We drag this across. We look at her. You can see it's upscaled perfectly. Okay, so she's upscaled as she was supposed to be. The background is supposed to be kind of blurry. So it's not supposed to try to fix blurry background. And it knows that because it's getting the same prompt. So it understands what it's doing. Okay. And if we do the output here, you'll see that it's exactly what it's supposed to be. So no cropping, or slight cropping. And you can see as I drag this across over here, they didn't have to crop very much. You see? Like look at here down here. You can see a line going across right here where it cropped like to here, right where the mouse thing is. You see how it's a little bit off? There's a line going across. That's the crop. We go over here on the side. It's there. It's hard to see though. Go on the top. See right there, that line? That's the crop. It's hardly noticeable. Like you know. And if I wanted this, of course, you know, that would be my new background. But because she's centered in the image before I fixed it, I don't want to use that one, right? Okay, so now moving on to the switch idea. So the picker, when you do a batch and it's done, here, let's just do one. you have it come out of the sampler, let's say, right? We'll put this right here for right now. Use the tiled one right here. Use this one, not this one. This one allows for batching. So we're going to plug it in here. This is going to plug into here. And we still have some more places that here. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take all this out here. I don't need any of this. Okay. And we need to come out from there to there. And I don't need this anymore either. And I'm going to leave these, but I don't need these. Like we can just delete them and it automatically cleans it up and reconnects. Okay. So if I run and just do one. Oh, I forgot. Hold on. Cancel. Stop. Coming out, goes into there. Okay, here we go. Run. What it'll do is it will throw up a image. You know, if you do a batch, if you do like 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or whatever, it lets you go through them and select the ones that you want to keep. And I find that very helpful because if you are doing upscales, your time is valuable. Now, the actual smart way to do the upscales is actually don't do them in the same session that you're doing your regular art. You just set this for 50, no upscaling at all. And then you go through your folder and you delete the ones that are crap. See, now here's the center. She is kind of off center, but she's not off center enough. This might look okay. Let's say I go, you know what? No, I would just hit cancel. But if I wanted to make it go on, I would hit go. It makes a green border around it, send, and then it sends it on. Okay. But what if I don't want to use the picker when I'm doing a whole batch? What happens is you say, oh, let's do 50. Run. Okay. And you leave and you go to sleep. You wake up in the morning, you have the pop-up picker for the first one. And you're like, what happened to the other 99 of them? Well, guess what? You left this on. So there was a series of switches that I did. And it was not easy to put together. So on here, we're going to need this one, but we also need the opposite. Oh, man. Like this one. And then we need a Boolean. Oops. A switch. You take the switch, you go here. You take the switch, you go there. Then this comes out of here, goes into here. This comes out of here, goes into there. This comes out of there, goes on to there. No, comes out of here, goes on to there. This goes to there. Then this goes on to everything else. I think that's how you do it. Because if you say false here, it just goes on through. If you say true, it should catch it. So let's go ahead and run one. Here, let's actually do a faster one. Let's go 1-to-1, perfect square, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I have it working on my other workflow, the one I actually use, and I will show you. Actually, I can just load it up real quick. Workflows. I think it's my vertical workflow. I think here. Let's see here. Use image picker. Yeah, it's all under here. So there it is. Use image picker. And then I have all these switches. They're all in here. Unpack. And then here's the Boolean. So this is the one I actually use. Here's my Ollama that I just added. I keep forgetting to save it, but I did redo all this so it was much more tidy. That's the prompt input, because I'm not using this prompt yet. I was still playing around with this. You can see it's not even colored or anything. I didn't even square up the boxes yet. And you guys know that I like the boxes squared. All right, so there you go. And then these, as I mentioned, we're all in a subgraph. And then I minimized it and I hid it in here. And then I put this show any, but it's the prompt over the top of it. And you can see because we have it false, it's sent it on through, and it's now currently trying to upscale. I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel because I don't want to upscale this image, but you get the idea, right? And then if you hit true on the Boolean, just rename it. Use image picker, question mark. True, it will. False, it will not. You take this and put it someplace special, and then do the same thing I already did when I just showed you. Just take all of these and then convert them to a subgraph and then minimize it. And then you can hide it behind something, right? You just put it somewhere and hide it so you don't see it. And then when you're all done and you've made everything nice and beautiful and pretty and you're happy with how everything looks, turn off that stuff. Use subgraphs. They're pretty cool. You know, you can convert more than one node. Like you can, some of them don't work though. And if you have a problem, you have to go and undo it because it doesn't like being in a subgraph. But most of them are perfectly happy being in a subgraph, and it just cleans everything up and makes it nice. And don't forget to hide things behind things that you'll never tinker with. You'll never change a setting with. You can put them behind other things. Just get them out of the way. Like if you think you'll always use these same settings, you'll never change off of ultra sharp, for example, whatever you want to do. And then there's your workflow. And then also don't forget RG3's bookmarks. Once you have it exactly where you want it, like let's say you want to be able to put prompts in. So what you do, let me show you how to use this real quick in case you don't know. Zoom in the way you want it, like that, let's say. You take this. We'll move it, here, let's put this back on top. Move this where you want it. And then let's say you just hit 1. And you go, okay, well, that's not quite what I want. So let's do zoom in of 2. Okay. There you go. Perfect. All right. And then, okay, after that, what's the next thing I need to do? Oh, this. So I need to be able to see it. Let's do that. Bookmark, RG3. Take that, you put it over there. And maybe this is also a 2. So you go 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? What's the next thing you might want to be doing? Like you'll never change this. Hide that someplace. You don't need to ever talk about that. You can hide this someplace. Maybe you'll do something with that sometimes. Maybe just leave that there. You want to see the preview image coming out? No, because you might use the picker. How about the picker switch? Oh, but you can't. So you have to have a clear spot right there to put the bookmark. We don't have that. Which means that you'll have to do something like that. You know, just to get it out of the way. There we go. 1, I'm sorry, I'm hitting tilde. 1, enter your prompt. 2, change your settings. 3, are you going to use the picker? All right, what's 4? This, let's say. So again, what you'll probably have to do there. 1, enter your prompt. 2, select your image size. 3, not 3, that's 3. Are you going to use the image picker? 4. Okay, so that's wrong. So 1.5. 3, 4. You can also minimize these, make these a little smaller. 3, 4. Let's move this over a little bit. How about that? Is that good? Or heck, you can probably just put it on top. One, 2, 3, 4. Make liberal use of the bookmarks. They're awesome. They make everything cluttered, but so what? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's awesome. Yay, RG3, my favorite node creator. And that's it. With that, I'm out of here. You guys all have a great week. Hope you learned something. I'll see you on the next one. Join my Discord. I'll put my custom nodes in there if you want to try them out. Otherwise, I will see you guys on the next video. Take it easy.